right, I wanted to do an overview of some of my go-to knives. I guess this is way too many to be go-to knives, but over the years, most of them have been, at least at some point, my go-to. It's a small fraction of my collection, and it's rotated over the years, and I've given a bunch to my kids and such, but current snapshot, some of the latest, and then also some of the classics in here. So you can see there's about 20 something knives here, so I'm gonna talk about each one for a little bit and point out some of the things I like about them, how they compare to each other. Here's a quick kind of look through all of them. This is mostly small size knives, I guess. The biggest ones here would be, I guess, like this Goathead is more or less a full-size knife. And then the smallest is this tiny little winger. That's a little neck knife. All right, let me switch to a little closer. Let's go through some of them. Let's start with this interesting one. So I've been posting a lot about these knives lately. This is the Offensive Industries. You can see this is kind of the mid-sized, I guess, or maybe on the small size side of what he does. He does these beautiful, maybe 0.5 is actually better on these. He does these beautiful wraps, Ito wraps with Stingray underneath. This one's gray and red, which is really cool. I polished this a little bit with the rust eraser just because I like the look more like this, but it comes with this more, with a darker finish, kind of like a casual finish, I guess. They look really odd. They don't look like anything else, but they just slide into your hand and they're beautiful knives. And I can't say enough good things about them, but when you look at them, a lot of the people will probably be like me for the first month or even years, maybe when I saw them, I was like, what is this? But so it's got this hump, no need for jimping or anything, especially if you have the wrap here, right? So this one's kind of like a denim. Yeah, it just, because of the shape, it just fits. There's no jimping needed. That's not really a thumb ramp, but kind of is, and it just fits in the hand in all these different ways. And it can absolutely be an outdoor knife. That's what I was gonna try to give it a shot at doing that. I have another one from him that's slightly bigger version of this that is more of a tactical knife. This one's slightly smaller. Yeah, overall, really interesting, great package. Comes with this amazing sheath as well. I really, really like how he does these. No one else, well, no, not no one, but there's a lot of people doing these days, but I like his. Maybe this is my favorite sheath type at the moment. This is like this high riding ambidextrous pocket / belt sheath, whatever you want to call it, but he just does such a great job with these. Anyway, so that's one. Two, one of my favorite knives of all time also is this Matt Helm Dogbone. So this is from Dauntless Manufacturing. They do his designs now. This one is in Magna Cut. Picked this up on eBay. I just couldn't pass up a chance to get one of these guys. Kind of the perfect configuration. Got the Magna Cut on it. It has micarta scales. These are, I don't know if this is the burnt micarta or what, but yeah, they're a little harder than, not like your soft texture, which I don't know. I like both. This one's definitely gonna wear better. This one also had the helm jimping. This is what Matt does. These are amazing. It just, any way you grab this knife, it just fits like a glove. It's a little chunky, maybe, but it does have that swedge. Blade's amazingly useful. Again, kind of funky looking at first, but yeah, once you pick it up, it's just kind of wow. The closest to that maybe is like, this is my old school one from Terra knives. I think he calls them hikers now. I don't remember which model is which anymore, but this one was predated those. It was like a number. And I think this one was an Able, and now he usually does crew wear or Magna Cut. But yeah, this is, oh, I had the scales changed on that. It's really hard to see. They're really cool, and they do have that kind of rock texture on them. Yeah, this one's also just very well thought out. The original scales had a little more bulge and didn't quite work in all these different grips. This does. Kind of like a Kephart, I guess, blade, the spear or leaf, whatever point. Really useful, really nice. I wish he'd do a little more of like some dark and tumbled or acid wash finishes, but hey, this works. I have a couple more of his that I'll come back to, but let's start with some of these. This is the Primitive Bear. I don't remember, I think this is the, I forgot again, hiker model, whatever he calls them. Picked this up when he had a sale on these guys with special inlays. So really like this simple, clean variation. It's got that clip point. I don't have a lot of clips. This one really, I really like it. It has liners. I believe this is crew wear. Let's see, it says right there. Yep, it is. Numbered and all that. Love the finish. I love these kind of smeared dark finishes, like I said. There's his little logo, really cool. Again, nothing really extra to this, no jimping needed anywhere, just the shape of the knife. It's really light, just works. So this guy, I haven't really taken it out for an adventure yet, but this should be really nice to go on the pack or something. This is kind of like, I keep thinking this is the pinnacle of standard, like classic knife shape evolution, the Goathead. So Goathead knives, he only does 2 models, I believe, at the time. And yeah, he just nailed it off the first one. It's kind of crazy. Like, the minute I saw it, I thought, wow, gotta try this one. Is it really as good as I think it might be? And yeah, it's perfect in the hand. It's everything about it. Magna Cut blade on this one, I believe. Does have jimping, very kind of neutral, but works really well. Not like useless jimping. You know, has all the right details, has a little bit of rounding here. Everything is really nice. It does have the square spine, so I mean, it is supposed to be a hunting knife, but it could be just used for just about anything. It could be a tactical knife. It has all the right shapes for all the different grips. So yeah, this thing is just amazing. Let's go through the list or the row here. So auxiliary manufacturing, AUX MFG, here's this guy. This is the Runt XL in some, I forget, some kind of paper micarta, I believe this is. I really like it. It's nice and slim, it's super thin, very light. Just like carrying it sometimes when I want a longer blade, but I want something really nice and light. That also kind of a clip, sort of like this guy, right? Like the mini version of that. I like it has a nice long clip. Love that shape. What else to say about this? Yeah, it's just a really nice clean knife, perfect shape. Here's a very different knife, about the same size, about as different as you can be, I guess. This is from Unbound Knives in Bulgaria. Makes amazing knives. N690, I believe, on this, with cryo that he does himself, and it just makes it, I don't know what he does, like geometry plus the way he does the tempering on these blades makes them absolutely insane. Possibly the best working knives I have. Amazing shape. Nice and simple, works in different grips. I love the finish is nice. This is his older logo. Jimping, kind of like the Goathead, very simple, but just enough to work, be useful. All the right things, like, oh yeah, I was gonna say on the goat head, this just blew my mind. I don't know why more people don't do this in the back. It's just so nice for your pinky to like have that little ramp. Well, this one has it, the front's angled. Everything else is nice and smooth. Just a beautiful overall user. Not too different, maybe. This one is an old, not too old, but it's been with me for a few years now. This is a Russian-made dead knives. It's got that Russian D on it. He made batches of these. He's like a kind of same type of, small batch, one-man shop in Russia. So before the whole Ukraine thing, I used to buy tons of knives from Russia. This stayed with me. M390, absolutely amazing blade. Again, same idea with the jimping, just minimal, just there, just to be enough. Hard to see, but yeah, they're like scalloped or whatever you want to call them, scales, so no sliding, perfect. Everything's rounded, so just fits, especially for my size hands. Maybe if you have bigger hands, it'd be a little too small, I don't know. Yeah, this one is an amazing knife. This one is an old beater I have, old version of Yote from Fallen Oak Forge with that acorn there. I've had this one for, God, I don't know, 10 years more. It's seen a lot of work. I've taken it on a bunch of different adventures. It's just a tough knife. So he makes his own micarta, and it looks pretty awesome. They're very thick scales. He likes doing them big and thick. This one actually had pretty thin blade stock for what he usually does, and I like that. It's it's a small knife, but it's just so usable. Everything about it, it's got that convex grind here, so it's flat to convex. Comes down to 0 if you want. I think I keep it that way. I don't think I have an extra edge on it. Just sharpened it the other day. I don't remember. This is some carbon steel, so that's the only thing that up here in Pacific Northwest, that's quite a bit of a liability having a non-stainless steel blade, but whatever he does with his blades, they hold up really well. Here's one of my Grail knives of all time, Johnny Mac. So this one is, his knives were some of the first customs I think I put down on my wish list like 15 years ago or something. Here's one of he used to do them all in D2. Now he does a lot of other steels. But yeah, this one's from 2024, so a couple years old now. This is his mini spear point, I believe, model. I think he's changed the handle since then a little bit. I don't mind this. I think I would prefer the straight that he has now, but this works for me great too. Really perfect big little knife. So this one, like the Yote, has the huge cutouts, right? Like 3 holes for the jimping, but they're just boom. I like that too. I like either the ones that are subtle or the ones that are just not subtle like this at all. Love the rounding here. Does a lot of work to finish these perfectly. I think this was called Chili Pepper Micarta. It's really cool. All right, then another one. This is sort of an oldie too. So J-Dub, I forgot what his actual name is. Oh my God, just eludes me at the moment. There's a guy in Canada. This is his old, you see this from 2020. This is his old logo. He has a new one now. I have another knife from him with a new one. That's a much bigger, more tactical knife. Love this thing. I believe this is a CPM S90. I think that's what it was. I love the Canadian knife shape, or Nessie, whatever you want to call it. This one's just like a mini version, right? It's nice and stout. Everything's clean. Again, I love the idea that you just don't need any jimping on this. It just follows the blade shape, right? The blade's very sharp. It's not super slicey because it's just, that's not the type of blade this is, but for really hard work. It's a good belt knife to have with you. All right, now to something completely different. Here's another AUX MFG. This guy is the Spear Point Coffin series, right, with the G10 handle. Maybe I'll get the other one that's wrapped as well because I'm a sucker for those Ito wraps, but this just really spoke to me. I love the idea of that for the smaller ones, especially the coffin, just blade shape just fits into your hand. You can choke up on it. I don't know if this is rock texture or what you would call this, but the textured handles are great. It's all black, very tactical. You can see I've beaten it up a little bit. Love the shape, love the fact that it's thick as hell, but it does have the swedge, which thins it up towards the tip. So tip's very useful. So it makes it a little more slicey. All right, moving on. Something, again, completely different. So this is from MLL Mario Liao, I think. I'm not sure. He kind of disappeared around COVID, so I hope he's still okay out there somewhere. But guy is from Portugal, made some really cool knives. This is my favorite of his. I have three. I have two bigger ones. This is like my little mini neck/belt knife. You can see there's that flat, two different grinds here. There's that line. I love his little signature hole in there. Has that very handmade feel, but it's I actually covered these because I don't know, I don't remember why. I think I just wanted to play with epoxy, but I epoxied over the plain canvas micarta or burlap micarta on this one, which works better where I live. This guy's also N690, I believe, so I've had this hanging outside for multiple winters now on my patio, and yeah, it just lives through everything and just keeps going. Clean it up, take it into the woods again. One of my more recent knives is this guy from Wizard Forge, his Chinese-made production run. These are amazing little, I forgot what's the name, Magwai? Is that the gremlins? So it's his version of, it's the production version of his gremlin. And love that ring. It's a chunky guy, can do all kinds of work. I broke through a coconut in Hawaii with this one. It was on vacation with me. It's got 14C28N on it. So yeah, they come in like these three colors that you don't really get anywhere else, especially I love that purple. So love this little guy. Here's another matte helm. Here's the Dogbone K, the mini Dogbone. That's what got me into these guys. I first ordered this one. I have one for my kid now too. This one has the normal standard Dauntless jimping. Not as cool as mattes, but still very functional with all the different jimpings everywhere in the shape. Kind of coffin shape-ish, I guess. Oh. Let's look at them side by side. What I like about it is that it's light, thin, as 3V. Yeah, this is 3V. So indestructible, basically. 3V is not purely stainless, but holds up really well up here. Oh yeah, that little lanyard, submerged whatever, lanyard hole, not even really a hole, like that. I don't do a lot of lanyards, but if I wanted to, that would be cool. Again, funky shape. I think the little one is slightly less funky than the big one. when you see it. And then once you hold it, you fully appreciate it. All right, here's another one from, this is from Nick Groninger, and he still has some on his website. He's kind of been off social media, and I don't know if he makes new ones anymore. He made them for a while. I had one of his old versions, and now I have a few others. This is the smallest one, but it's really chunky. He likes doing a bunch of these like really overbuilt knives. So yeah, this is like my one sheep's foot. Again, with that really aggressive big jimping, that's just, you can't miss. Boom, every one of them just catches your finger. Oh my God, I forgot what the steel is on this. I think it's S30V, I don't actually remember. Something powdered. Love that toxic micarta, the G10. And the texture on it is cool, very grippy. So yeah, it's a chunky one, but here's another, you can see I kind of go back and forth. Speaking of kind of chunky knives, this is a Fight or Flight. Also don't know what's happening with the guy. He may still be running the business, maybe not. I know he kind of sold out of the stock he had about a year ago or so. I liked this one, wanted to try one and snatch it up. He made a few of these different little, I forget what he calls the model, but just spoke to me as this another little big knife, and it had that really cool blue jeans, whatever, micarta, whatever they call them, denim micarta. Really cool. Looks awesome. Nothing else really looks like that in my collection, so I wanted one. I like the full, I don't know if you call that a drop or a clip. It's a straight down triangle, whatever the point that is. But yeah, with the jimping, that subtle jimping coming down, it works so well as that like little finger knife. And I think it's just CPM 154. So good user. One of my favorite knives, this is Terra again. So I have a bunch of his. He's one of the makers that I have some of the most knives from. This one I wanted for a while. It's kind of his evolution. I had them like a tiny version of his initial design for these before he made the full handle. He had them like half handled before, sort of little neck knives. And then they've evolved. So I got two of these guys now. They are slightly different, but both evolutions of that spear or whatever, the leaf shaped blade. This is more of my like urban carry. The handles he makes are pretty chunky, very nice to hold in your hand. But yeah, they're a little bit of a handful. This guy is my hands are not very big, so it fits my hands. I can get a four finger grip on it. Can almost get like a reverse proper grip on it like this. Yeah, he keeps his blades super clean, no jimping, nothing, none of that, no finishes, just nice polish. Both of these are, I think this one's Magna, this one's crew wear, both with cryo, so amazing cutters, especially since they're that full broad or whatever blade, right? And they full flat grind, just, yeah, they're just crazy slicers. Okay, and then here's one from Josh Mason. He makes a whole bunch of, this is actually very different from what he usually does, and I just wanted to snatch one up. He made a few of these little guys about a year ago or something. Just a cool little thing to put in your pocket or like sideways on your belt, whatever. Again, very different from anything else I have. He likes these fun grinds. Usually he does the Japanese, again, wrap styles, right? Kind of like these. But sometimes he does the micarta handles, more traditional looking knives, although this one is pretty far from traditional looking in terms of the blade. Love that ramp, that harpoon blade, I guess you call it, right? And it's got the ramp, so you can put your thumb there. It's got the swedges, so the tip is very strong, pointy, and for a tiny knife like this, that's a lot of knife. All right, keep going with the tinies. This may be my favorite tiny knife of all time. This is the another wizard. So I think this was the first wizard one I got. This, I believe, is the gnome. And it's got that subtle, subdued, just pure good old G10, but it's got that also subtle texturing on it. And yeah, for the small knife that it is, it's got, I think, the most blade of the ones that I have. And it just feels like a completely solid blade that can actually do work. This is Nitro V. Yeah, it comes, I should probably show the cool sheath it comes with. I set it up for net carry because having it on my belt just felt like it was too small, but I like it as a necker. The closest to it is probably this guy that I just got. This is a tactical pterodactyl mini camper, I think. Really small. I knew it was going to be small. I just wanted to get one like this just to try it. I've been watching his work for a while. So same idea, kind of like that little tiny micro knife with, and this one has the big jimping that I love, right? Here's the little 3 notches and it just catches your finger. That finish on the blade's insane. I got some scratches on the other side, but whatever. Orange G10 just works so well with that. Just that gray, black, orange. I love that combo. Put a little lanyard on it. And then finally, here's another very different knife from all those little guys, but also tiny. Tiny little knife. Dave's, I forget again what the model is called. Aphid, I think. One of his aphids, I believe. And this one is hemp wrap. I really have a few now in hemp. I love the texture, just so light and so secure and everything. It's just so small, but such a mighty little blade. This is probably my favorite necker at this time, although I don't know, I like I love carrying this guy. It's just a little heavier, so like if day to day you just want to be super light, especially in the summer, definitely go with this. Otherwise, yeah. All right, that's kind of the overview of all these. I wanted to mention a few good things about each one and talk about what I use them for. And I live in a, I guess, suburban environment, so only have that many chances to really use them. I take them on hikes when I can, but there's like, I don't really have a need for things like this, to be honest, but it's just something I need to have as a collector. I think, here's like, if I needed a longer, bigger knife, I have even bigger knives, of course, but like this would be everything I would ever need probably, although it's a pretty light, thin blade, so that may be the only thing I would be doing a lot prying with this for sure. But this crew wear is definitely a tough, good choice. So this would be kind of on the heavy side, big side, I guess, not necessarily heavy. If I really wanted to go for heavy, I got these guys, right? This is like, so maybe we should do that. I have, so like this, these are like the heavy guys. I guess this guy's too. I have the middle guys. I have the super light ones. Heavy, super light, middle, heavy. I do seem to have a lot of these heavy small knives. I have really, like, I don't know, these guys are too small to be that heavy. But like these are the same kind of type, I would say. This guy, this is probably more of the heavy guys. All right, you see I love those. Overbuilt, big small knives, small big knives, whatever. Old ones, new ones. Jimping, no jimping. Sometimes it's fun to have a ring on your knife. For an everyday, really, like, this is just about perfect. This is what I one of my go-tos, my main go-to today maybe. Just everything about it, and the fact that it's light and small. Oh, it's also skeletonized handle. It's kind of hard to see it, I think. No, can't really see. But trust me, it's skeletonized. And it's Big Brother, which this one's a hefty guy. I just don't have a whole lot of need for it day to day, but if I need a bigger, this one would be like if I needed to just grab one knife and just have it for, I don't know, rest of my life, whatever, this might be it. This is amazing. It just does everything. And it's such a unique shape that has so many uses. So, yeah. And then in the, for like normal hiking, without needing a knife that's too big, without needing to chop things and whatever, this would be something that's just a perfect belt companion. As you might see, I love these leaf shaped blades. I have a lot of them, or some variations of them. Really wanted to give this one a go. I'm gonna get another one from Johnny here because D2, I just worry that I'm gonna mess it up in the Pacific Northwest, and then I'm gonna be like, oh my god, my Grail knife, But it just asks to be used, so maybe when I get the new one, I will use this one too. In terms of how it fits in your hand, I love this so much. I just want to do something with it, and it's so different from the others. All right, I think that's kind of it. I can show some of the sheath here too. One of my favorite types as well right now is it's even more compact than this guy. Same idea, right? That ambidextrous pocket / belt, depending on the clip that they use, the DCC clips on this. This is for the little Dogbone K. I actually really like the original Dogbone sheath from Dauntless. Let's try not to cut myself here. This is such a great package. It's just still slim, pretty light, especially on the front, but it's absolutely solid. So usable. It feels like a much bigger knife. I always think of it as bigger than I compare it to something else, and I'm like, wow, it's really not that big at all. Like, it's smaller than this guy. Played around with Kydex, made a few of these. That's one I made for the Yote over here. And then here's one I made of plain FD Kydex for this J-Dub here. And yeah, that's, I think, everything I wanted to show. So there it is. Thank you guys for looking.